How to get a prospect's attention. Have you ever felt like your emails, your messages are lost in a sea of messaging and you're never going to hear back? Well, today we're going to talk about some of the ways that you can actually sift through the challenge of too many messages for people that you're wanting to prospect with and getting their attention. Let's talk first about why most people fail at grabbing attention when it comes to messaging others and prospects especially. Here's some of the classic mistakes. First of all, being too generic. I mean, you've probably been on the receiving end of one of those emails, where you're opening your inbox and it says, "Dear, fill in the blank of name." Have you ever gotten one of those? That drives me crazy. I can't believe that they would send that to me and think that I would open it and feel that it was customized. It's actually offensive. Don't do it. How about the wrong timing for reaching out? Yeah, if you're in business, you know that there are certain times that your industry really does their work and probably is checking their email. You can actually track this by how much work you've already done in the industry, and it's fine to test it out while you're starting, but then eventually you'll figure out the pattern. Here's what I've noticed in my industry as a speaker, entertainer, and a coach and mentor for people that do business. I've realized that Mondays are a day of catch-up from the weekend. Fridays are a day of catch-up for the week. And so when do they mostly check emails and work? Tuesday through Thursday. That's not to say they wouldn't check an email on a Monday or Friday, but I found that when I reach out at the right time, instead of sending something at the wrong time, imagine sending an email on a Saturday afternoon. That'll probably get lost in their Monday shuffle. And so I'm going to send my prospects only emails during Tuesday to Thursday, whether it's emails or a text message, a voice message, it's whatever you decide is the best way to reach out to your prospect, but do it at the right time of the day and week as much as possible. Here's what successful leaders do differently, and this is going to help you so much, I believe. His name is Tim Ferriss. If you don't know Tim, he's got one of the greatest blogs there is, and he wrote The 4-Hour Work Week. Yeah, here's a guy that actually has some incredible productivity, but also knows how to get into his prospect's face. Here's what he has established in order to make it so that people know when to contact him. He actually set up some parameters for himself as well as parameters for other people. He puts in the response to his email. I'm only going to be checking emails at certain times of the day. And when you see that on his email, it says, I'll be checking these at 11 o'clock in the morning and 4 p.m. in the afternoon. That means that he's batching his process of checking emails. I believe that a lot of leaders have implemented this process. And so sending emails at different times of the day can also be extremely ineffective. So if you know somebody that's highly productive, that's a prospect that you're really going for, don't send something in the beginning of the day or the middle of the day. Send it during the time that you know that they're sitting at their desk. It's usually the time they last responded to you. That is a secret tip from Tim Ferriss. What I love about this is that actually establishes a promise for yourself. It establishes that you're going to promise yourself to reach out to prospects at a certain time, and if you implement batching, then guess what? You've made a promise to yourself as well. Now you can educate other people as to how best to communicate with you and how you communicate with the world. This becomes known as a signature move. People will know you for this. They'll refer to you about this. It's a very cool thing when you are known for your signature moves. So here's some time-proven techniques that I hope that you'll implement. First, the basics. Personalization. I mean, come on, that's gotta sound simple, right? But have you ever received that email that you knew was the form letter to everybody? That's no good. Customize it, personalize it, say the person's name, make sure that they know it was made just for them. How about relevance? Make sure that the thing that you're sending is relevant to the recipient. Otherwise, why would they open it? Why would they care? Here are some advanced strategies now that you've graduated from the basics. How about doing a video message? There are different formats that you can utilize. There's things like BombBomb, and if you've heard of that, or even you can make a video on LinkedIn and send it to a prospect. There are really cool ways that you can engage people through video. One of the best things that I've seen is somebody will actually write on a sign or a piece of paper and say, "Hi, Jack." If it's for their friend Jack, it'll say, "Hi, Jack," so that they know that it's a custom video. That is so smart, because now Jack is not going to think it's just some form video or some basic thing everyone else is sending. It is for Jack himself, and he'll click on that link and watch it. I suggest you try some video. It's actually such a great way to communicate with others. Now, whether you do that through email or through a social media, LinkedIn is a great place for that. In fact, even Facebook is great for that. I've been doing video messages for years with clients, prospects, people that I'm trying to get their attention. It's nice when I can go something like that as the lead, because then they click on it. So maybe you do something funny. Maybe you wear a funny hat. Maybe you have the glasses or you hold the sign of their name. I highly recommend you jump into those direct messages of social media of the people you're prospecting, because so often, as you know, emails are just too much. And so outside of just saying, okay, let's do only emails or social media, let me give you one more proven expert business strategy. You ready? A phone call. Yeah, old time, right? Here's how you do it. You text the prospect first and say, I'm going to give you a call in 5 minutes. Does that work? And then you actually call them on the phone. It might go to voicemail. That's okay. You could just leave a quick message. But it's nice to let the prospect know that you're about to call. And oftentimes they will answer because you respectfully let them know you were calling. And then they'll be thrilled to hear from you, because a lot of people don't call anymore. What I'd love for you to do before we continue on with this video is please just comment as to the best ways that you've found for prospecting. I've shared about video and some other things. What do you find has been helpful for you? So now let's talk about platforms and avenues. I've mostly talked about email. I just mentioned phone calls and texts. Let's talk about social media and some of the power within that. LinkedIn is the most powerful spot that you can actually reach out to a new prospect, in my opinion, and from what I've seen. I've found a lot of success by being able to type in something personal to that person, even if we're not a first connection. It's always great to be able to send them something of value, whether it's an article that was written or something about their business. You could say, I know you're in this business and this would be helpful. It's also fun to send something that might make them laugh. I do that because that's what my signature move is. And so I'll send them either a funny meme, and yes, that sounds crazy, right? But I'll share a funny meme, a funny picture, or a funny story that I'm telling, and I'll send it and say, hope this brings some laughs to your day. It's fascinating to see the response from people, especially if they don't know me. They say, thanks for making my day. That was hilarious. The next thing we know, we start a dialogue. Another thing I like to share is my blog with people. If you go to jasonhewlett.com/blog, you'll see that I write a blog every week. It goes out on LinkedIn on Wednesdays. This is something I share with prospects all the time. And I say, hey, I just wanted to make your day. I hope you enjoy this quick article. And the next thing I know, we're communicating. It's a powerful tool. There are other platforms such as Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, and you name it, there's plenty of them out there right now. If you want to slide into somebody's DMs, just be careful. You want to make sure that it's always professional, that it's something that is adding value to their life, but it's always interesting to see the response that I get. I get a really high response rate on Instagram when I'm prospecting, even during the weekends. I'll say something like, hey, I went to this game with my son. I hope you enjoy this score of the goal. And then I send a video of my son playing lacrosse, because I'll see in their bio or in their feed that they like sports or they like lacrosse. Those kind of things actually really help when you share something about family or about, something that's personal. I find that very interesting. In Facebook especially, and Instagram. Twitter is a little trickier, and so you just have to pick your platform and stick to it. On emails, one of my best techniques that I like to do in terms of prospecting, and if you're a speaker, this will help you as well. I like to put in the subject line, a great speaker for your event, and then I refer someone other than me. Why do I do that? Well, first of all, I want to help my friends get work. Second of all, I know that that prospect has an event upcoming, and I saw their theme online, and I know a speaker that can help them. What's interesting how often this comes back to me tenfold, because that person that I sent the referral to, they usually say, hey, that's awesome. Thanks for telling me about your friend, but what about you? It looks like you're a speaker too. So it's interesting. Sometimes it comes back. Other times they just say thank you, and the next thing I know, they're booking my friends. It's a win-win for everybody. The one thing I would request that you do not ever do. On Facebook, there's a new trend that I absolutely hate, and this does not help your prospecting at all in any way, shape, or form. It's the @ button and then everyone. Do not @ everyone. If you @ everyone, they're going to be mad at you. You probably lose lots of friends. So don't be that person. I've seen a lot of people lately thinking that's a good idea for their humanitarian event or their virtual event or their retreat, mastermind. Don't do it. You're welcome. Let's talk about a next level tip that's often overlooked. This one's called the doorway technique, and what happens is you're actually giving them something in order for them to prospect with you. That's an interesting tool. I've shared in other videos about how Brennan Bouchard does this and some of the other great marketers out there like Russell Brunson of ClickFunnels. Now what they do is they'll offer a free book and they'll say, hey, here's my book for free. All you have to do is pay for shipping. And oftentimes they're losing money on the amount of shipping they're charging. So really they're offering something through the doorway technique in order to get a prospect to engage with them. That's a cool idea. I'm not quite there yet because I don't send my books out for free. I do have a book, but I think you need to start thinking for yourself. If you have something valuable you could offer up front, that would be a powerful way to prospect. Okay, so let's talk about some takeaway actions you can implement immediately. This is going to ramp up your prospecting right now. Number one, identify the platform. So where are you going to go? Are you going to email? Are you going to go to social media? Are you going to make videos? You're going to do phone calls and texts. You choose. Now it's time to craft the message. Make sure that you're firm in what you're offering, that they know what you're coming at them for. There has to be a reason. Confirm that message. Follow up. Don't underestimate the power of follow-up. The problem is this. A lot of salespeople will reach out, and then they'll get a response. And then guess what happens? They don't follow up. Or they might send one really powerful message and never send it again. Obviously, you don't want to be annoying to somebody, but it's very interesting what happens when we do active follow-up. So commit to that. And thank you for joining me today. And if this video added to your life, please subscribe, and thank you so much for joining me.